Let's hand it back to Shocks, Dentist, and Leviathan at the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Wow, what a game one from the Unicorns of Love. Unlike the series, how they started it versus you guys in game one, where they went standard and they lost really hard. This time, they went standard and they won incredibly hard. Let's talk a little bit about the team comps from both sides and also get a graphic to, well, exemplify that. A first lock in Cassiopeia for SK Gaming, throwing down the gauntlet in a very late game-oriented comp.
Absolutely. The Cassiopeia with a pick away from Power of Evil. Power of Evil is one of the two known Cassiopeia players in the European LCS. So it was on paper a good move to take away from him, but this scaling mid laner opened up, just like the Fisher said, the Kog'Maw as a last pick. Kog'Maw doesn't work in a team composition where you're facing an assassin, because the assassin can just go in on you. It's similar to when you play Kog'Maw as an AD carry. But in this case, Cassiopeia wasn't that big of a threat in the early game, so it opened up the late game scaling Kog'Maw, and he carried like incredible performance in Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and I'm actually really happy to see Kickus pull out the Gragas. They banned Gragas, I believe, 100% of the time against us in our series, which led us to believe that maybe Kickus hadn't practiced a champion, but give him a week and he managed to pick it up, and they executed it really well. It was the Gragas that was enabling them to set up pickoffs. So we were seeing the Gragas barrel onto Svenskeren time after time. They're just really forcing SK to take the fights that UOL wants them to take. So it's a really good champion pickup for him, and they executed it really well.
Yeah, one thing that we also have to talk about is the fact that SK picked a scaling composition overall. Unicorns of Love denied Delusion in the Graves, so what was left was either the Caitlyn or the Tristana. That's what we usually see. Bidona didn't expect the Corki. If you pick a Tristana and the Cassiopeia, you want to go late game, and that opens up early game aggression for Unicorns of Love. And Unicorns of Love is a team that can definitely go aggressive in the early game, and they were just all over the place. Gragas making plays, getting that first blood with a beautiful play. It was just exactly what they had to do.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that like the setup for the play was actually really beautiful. They were able to force the jump out of Forgiven just off of a Morgana binding, communicated to Kickus, hey, he has no jump for 20 seconds or whatever it is, come bottom, just ease over the wall, flash ultimates, and just set it up perfectly. It was exactly what they needed.
Glad you mentioned that Morgana binding, because if we didn't see it enough in the series versus you guys, Hylissang just continuing that MVP streak, also in the fight. What, did you?
Oh no, he's just a monster.
Yeah, he's a monster, really good. And let's pull a replay up on the screen from the minute that the Unicorns of Love had their advantage. They know how to push it.
Yeah, and this is just one of those situations where Unicorns of Love forces you to team fight. They make a pick in their jungle, group up all together, and then just force you to fight it. It started pretty good for SK. They were able to take a kill in this, but then just Unicorns countered with a favorable trade and the Drake right afterwards. So it was just one of those Unicorns moments.
Yeah, and the thing about this, I think, is either you have to give up your jungler if you're SK, you have to say, okay, well, Svenskaren's just dead, and not take the fight and give up an objective, or you have to take the fight, a fight that, you know, you're not probably going to win because this is exactly what they want. It's a lose-lose situation based off of the setup from UOL.
And at that moment, actually, even though the Unicorns of Love was very ahead, the old fear crept in with me that we sometimes say for the Unicorns, they just go and they go hard even though when they shouldn't. But something that was so glaring in this one, skill shot wise, the Power of Evil ultimates, the Morgana bindings, the Gragas ultimates, even the Sion ultimates and hitting people, it was incredible across the board. Even Vardax with his fadeaway ultimates, they are just in the zone right now.
Absolutely, Vardax stepped up huge in this game. He was able to have a really good laning phase against the bot lane.
Forgiven and Rated.
Yeah, and Rated and Forgiven, known to be the best bot lane in Europe, and they was just having a clutch game in the bot lane. Vardax, I don't know why you give him Morgana. Like the Annie ban, maybe they expected that the bot lane gets banned out and that he prefers the Annie by now, but if you leave that thing open, he's gonna lock it in and he's gonna perform. Like you can't give him Morgana.
A lady. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like they have the patience. Like they know what they need to do. Like they just wait for the binding, wait for something to hit, and then they all go in. They have the patience. They've played this comp before, and they play it really, really well. Like you can say Unicorns of Love are the cheese team, but they played a magnificent standard game. It was really well executed.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch. So now you're SK Gaming. You're going into game 2. You know that the Unicorns of Love, if it goes to 5, they have 3 more red side games. How will that influence your mindset going into the next one?
Absolutely. It's all about mindset now. If you're SK and you're going into the game against Unicorns of Love, with the strong characters that they have, they expect it to go 3-0. At least that's what I'm thinking. So if they lose the first game, now it's all about the staff. They have to stabilize their mentality and they have to make sure, okay, we lost the first one, but there are 4 other ones, potentially. So they have to be on top of the game. And, like, please don't tilt. please.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test for Forgiven. He claims he's one of the best. Well, it's time to see if he's one of the best at mental fortitude. I know N-rated pretty well, and when he gets angry, he tends to step up his play rather than step down. So I expect to see a strong performance out of N-rated in this next game, but it's really going to come down to Forgiven. You know, he has the mechanics. He claims he's one of the best. Well, can you hold it together after dropping an early game to Unicorns?
We will see. Don't make N-rated angry. You won't like him when he's angry. And in just a few minutes, SK Gaming will try and even out the score against the Unicorns of Love. We'll be back covering all the action in just 3.5. Don't go anywhere.
How about the magic trick?
Play Shaco?
Oh, but in this burden, but it always returns.
Dude, that's so Maokai.
Looks like he's going to come in for a gank. His body slammed over. That's a flash barrel. Forgiven is going to flash away from that Dark Binding. Continues to get chased down. Less than 100 HP as Hylissang and Kickers will look for that last hit. This lack of vision comes to hurt SK. They've rushed the Dragon down so quickly. It is secured by Kickers. He throws in the barrel of the smite and picks up Dragon number 1. He failed flashes.
Binding from Chachi.
There's one on N-rated. There's the TP. Here comes Vizichachi. N-rated throws down the tidal wave, but it's not going to be enough.
I'm in. I knock him up.
I ulti.
Excited!
Yeah, I'm excited. I sap. Is that nice? Get on,
I'm in.
SK in the background. Hylissang has gone down.
Boom.
Here comes Chachi. He curves the bullet, spins around the corner, and is now tanking up 3. Pops the shield to pop Svenskeren. Power of Evil hammering away with the artillery from the backline. They're going to trade top laners shortly. The Death Rocket secures the kill. Buster Shot plus Explosive may not be enough, and it's not. Now Power of Evil's flashing away. Somebody get me an oxygen tank.
Go, boys!
And they've done it. Game 1 in the best of 5 goes to the Ponies.